What's up, everybody? My name is Mayan Ahanotu, and welcome back to the Good Vibe Show podcast. Today, our guest is the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Korsak.
What's up, King? How are
What's
you?
good, bro? I'm good. How you doing?
Good, man. Cruising, yeah.
Let's just get right into it, man. You know, you're the legend. You're the GOAT, Himothy. And for those out there who don't know, you can put something under here, right here. Himothy is the essence of being him. He's that guy on the field. So, how did you get started playing American football, bro?
Well, I played a lot of sports in Australia growing up, Australian football and cricket and golf. But my interest in American football came from my dad. He brought me the Madden 06 game. I think it had Doven and McNabb on the cover. And I was on PS2 and I just started playing that. And he also showed me like a bunch of movies like Any Given Sunday in the program. So my interest sort of stemmed from his interest in American football. Then when I was 18, I went to an Australian academy that teaches punting called Pro Kick Australia, ran by Nathan Chapman and John Smith. Went to them for 2 years and sort of learnt how to punt. Very similar to Australian football, but you do need to be trained by those guys to sort of have a chance of getting recruited. Alongside, I trained at a performance gym called Crew by Damon Felzon and Jason Malia. And over the next couple of years, just sort of worked away at my craft and just did what I could to be in a position to get recruited by a school, and the rest is sort of history.
Mm-hmm. That's a crazy story, bro. I mean, a lot of the fans just know who Adam Korsak is, but not a lot of people know the actual story of how you got to America, your rugby background. So if you could just talk about that, how hard was that transition for you from rugby to playing American football, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, the skill is very transferable. In Australian football, you do have to punt the ball to pass it. There's a handball, but the predominant way to pass the ball is punting. So the skill is pretty transferable, but you do have to learn like little intricacies, which are you only can learn that by Pro Kick Australia and Nathan Chapman and John Smith, because those guys have done it at a really high level, and they've sent a lot of guys to numerous colleges. So, however, the skill is very transferable. However, going to those guys really helps you, and I didn't really feel comfortable out there until mid-2018. After a few games under my belt, just understanding things that you just don't expect. You know, even the little things like the sound of helmet to helmet before you punt.
Right. Just
getting used to that type of thing. So, but I've been at it for a while now. It's been 7 years since I first punted in American football, and looking forward to this season.
Yeah, you talked about how it took a couple of games like to get under your belt to really get into the groove of things. So I guess I would ask you is like, when did you first realize like, I'm Adam Korsak and I'm making my way. I'm the best punter in America. Like, when did you realize like you're him? You're that guy?
I wouldn't say that. I felt comfortable out there sort of midway through 2018. And then it was just refining the craft and working on scheme with the coaches and just getting comfortable out there. It does take a while to sort of build that. But after 5 years at anything, you're going to get proficient at it. And I feel like I'm at a position where, we can really make it our advantage, as we talk about, and the punt team can be a big weapon for us on the field. And I'm just excited for the season and looking forward to fall camp and everything that comes with it.
So like everybody knows, the fans know that you're from Australia. You're our Australian punter. If you could just let the fans know and tell us a little bit about what was your coming to America story and what everything went with that.
Yeah. So it took me sort of 2.5 years to get recruited by schools. It took me a while to get my coaches comfortable enough to where they could recruit me or sort of shop me around, if that makes sense. When I got to Rutgers, it was in January 2018, and I had a suitcase and a backpack, and Tim Filato, an operations guy, picked me up from the airport, and I had like a thin jacket on, like exactly probably what you're wearing.
Yeah.
And man, it was ridiculously, brutally cold. It was like 20 Fahrenheit, and I walked off the plane. We barely got there. It was almost cancelled because it was that bad weather, right? So I get my one suitcase and my backpack, walk off the plane, out of the terminal. The sliding doors open through Newark, and this wind just hits me, and I almost turned around and went back on the plane, man. It was that cold, and I've never experienced anything like that. And again, I wasn't prepared. I had a little jacket on. I had a suitcase, a backpack. I had nothing, and that was a bit of a shock for sure.
I know. What's the time difference there? Because I'm not really like
I think right now it's plus 16.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's pretty considerable, and you have to definitely time the calls to your mates and your family and stuff like that. Yeah.
So speaking of that time difference, how is it? Is it really hard to get in touch with like your parents and how to keep in touch with the games, and how do they really like follow along with your play and how to watch the games and stuff?
Yeah, well, pat on the back to them. They actually get up and try to watch it through a stream.
Yeah.
They enjoy watch it. I don't know how they do it, but 2, 3 a.m. they'll be up and on the couch and watching TV. And then when it overlaps where there's a few hours before I go to bed and when I wake up, which I can talk to my mates and my family and everyone. But like right now they'd probably still be asleep. I don't know. It's plus 16. I'm awful at working out what time it is. I just look at the phone with the world clock. But yeah, no, they do get up and they watch and they enjoy it and they try to follow along on social media and whatever else they can get their hands on.
That's awesome. That's true love right there. That's a big sacrifice.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah. So switching gears again, like everybody knows on the team you're a big golf guy. So besides you, who would you say is like the next close best to like golfer? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Besides me,
besides you, of
want
course.
that point out there. Besides me, it's probably Evan Simon, but he has his days, and we go back and forth on who's better. Okay. But I've got him covered. But he's probably second best, and I want to make that known that he's second best.
Yeah. How often do you golf?
I try to golf every day. I mean, especially now in June and July, it's pretty great weather here. There's a lot of good golf courses around. Just last night I was out with Coach Butler, and he's quite good. And it's something that I do in the afternoons when we have some time.
What's your favorite golf course that you go to?
I play Rutgers a lot, which is just behind our indoor facility.
Who's your inspiration? Like, who's your favorite golfer that you like to watch and pick up things on?
I sort of like Adam Scott. He's an Australian golfer.
Yeah.
He won the Masters. He was I think he was the first Australian to win the Masters, which is a massive golf event in Georgia. But right now, probably Cam Smith. He's got a mullet. He's got like a dirty mustache, typical Australian.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. He's awesome. He's one of the best putters on tour. And I got to get you playing golf soon.
Yeah, even when we go to like Top Golf or anything, bro, I just be sitting down because I don't want to be that guy that just like whiff the whole thing. I've never got a lesson or anything.
Well, you're the Prince of Tampa, and there's great courses in Tampa, so we definitely got to start swinging golf clubs,
bro.
mate.
There is definitely. I'm down for that for sure.
Yeah.
So talking to the fans.
The Prince of Tampa. Right?
Prince of Tampa. I like that for sure. What is something that the fans don't know about you that they want that you should tell them right now?
I love movies. Like I love watching movies, especially Quentin Tarantino movies.
Okay.
And I'm a big movie guy. So, I really do live a boring life. Football in the morning, golf in the afternoon, and at night I'm in bed early watching movies generally. I like reading scripts and sort of getting into the behind-the-scenes aspect of movies, and I guess that's something that the fans probably don't know.
So if you could, like, somebody that's aspiring to be like the next Adam Korsak, what is something that you would tell them, and like what are the steps that they could take just to be someone like you?
Someone like me.
Someone like you,
yeah.
the GOAT.
I think the biggest thing for me is reps, right? And it's like anything you do. I mean, how many times have you tried to perfect your craft? You just have to do it over and over again, and especially early on, like you watch a lot of the pros and they limit their reps because they're so good, so they're limiting their reps to protect their bodies. But they've done it so many times that they have that muscle memory. But when you're starting, I don't recommend that. I recommend just kicking or punting as much as you can just to build that muscle memory. And it's something that's going to take a lot of time. Again, I started punting. I first punted American football, I believe, in 2015. And now we're sitting here midway through 2022. And it's taken me, 7-8 years to get to this spot. So it's something that, just this morning I probably hit 50 balls. Like it's something that you just have to do over and over again just to build that muscle memory in and get to a level where you're confident and you can be reliable in all conditions.
Right. That's what's up, bro. It really takes a lot of like consistency, like all the intangibles that you really need, discipline, consistency, and everything to be great. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Transitioning into my next question. This is definitely not on the same topic that we were talking about before, but if you could have dinner with 3 people, living or passed away, who would they be and why?
That's interesting. I would like to have met Jimi Hendrix. I'm not sure if he wanted to meet me, but I would have liked to have met him.
What's that?
I just love his music. He was so I mean, the guy's amazing. I try to watch a lot of his, some of the live concerts they have of him, and, sporadically on YouTube because there's not much of him. But, I watch a lot of documentaries on him. And then 2 more, probably Mayan Ahanotu.
Stop playing.
From Tampa. And I don't know, I'm probably thinking maybe like someone from Australia to try to balance it out a bit. Maybe Adam Scott, the golfer. I like him a lot, yeah. It'd be good to pick his brain a bit.
Pick his brain? Okay.
Yeah. He's got a great golf swing. Great golf swing. So I'd like to see that, yeah.
So everybody knows how all the players literally were scrambling around when we got accepted to go play in the bowl game, right?
Yeah.
So, but they don't know that you had the craziest story of all. Could you tell the fans and the viewers how that story went for you, bro?
Yeah, so after my studies were done for the semester, I sort of scheduled my exams early and got out of here, went back to Australia, and I saw to go back to Australia, you have to go to LA first. So I'm in LA, my bags are already through.
Right.
And I'm sitting in the United Terminal, and I sort of see some rumors of us maybe replacing Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And I was skeptical at the time, or maybe I was just like not looking forward to the flight, and I don't know. But I was looking, I'm like, this might happen, this might not. Obviously on the flight I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I couldn't see anything. I ended up landing in Sydney, and I turn on the Wi-Fi, and my phone just starts blowing up. And it's everyone saying, did you leave? Are you going to come back? We just got into this bowl game. So it was just this mix of emotion. But I'm in Sydney, and I live in Melbourne, so it's still another hour flight till I'm back home, and my bags are on this aircraft. They're just in transition. So I'm like, all right, well, when's this game? And I think I had like 8 days or something until the game. And I'm like, this is going to be a tough one, but I have to come back. Like, there's no way I'm not coming back. And these flights it's a whole day thing. It's you get a little jet lagged, plus the time difference. You can imagine. Right. I don't know how you would go on it, being a big fella.
Yeah.
But then we get to Sydney. Sorry, I get back to Melbourne, and then I finally started speaking to coach and Keith Bruno and all these guys, and working out. All right, we have to make this a reality. Like, we have to somehow do this. Right. And at the time there was COVID and quarantine and stuff like that. So I think I had to quarantine for like 3 days in Australia at my house, provide 2 negative tests before I could go to enter the public. But during this time, I'm booking flights back. Then I have to get another test to prove that I'm negative before I go back to the US. So I think from the time I land, 4 days later, I had Christmas, and I think on this 26th or 27th, I'm back on a plane to LA, and then get another, from LA to Jacksonville.
How long is that flight?
It was just crazy. Well, from LA to Melbourne, it's 16. LA to Sydney, it's 15. It was hectic, man. It was hectic, and I actually felt pretty good when we got to Jacksonville. I wasn't even too much jet lagged. I think I was just more excited for the game, and obviously where we were staying, it's a great golf course.
Yeah,
one of the best in the world.
Did you get to golf over there?
Oh yeah.
That's what's up.
New Year's Day, man. Yeah, it was good fun. But yeah, it was hectic, and it was a bit of a whirlwind, and everything went perfect for us. It went so smooth. There was no hiccups, because if there was, and it delayed me a couple of days, I might not have been there, right?
Right, exactly.
But I only punted the 2 times though, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's a crazy story, bro. Like, I can't even imagine. 16 hours on a flight is crazy, and then that's just to LA, right?
To LA, yeah.
To LA, and then you had to go from LA to Florida, which is another that's like six.
It's like 3, I believe. 3? Yeah, 3 or 4. And then play the game.
Yeah.
Play golf the next day, and then go back. So it's it was a.
What are you doing on the flights?
I was watching Yellowstone at the time. So
that's your show?
That got me through. Well, I needed to watch something.
Yeah.
I like Kevin Costner. He's quite a good actor. Yeah.
In the season, before a game, what is your pregame routine? Like, what is your pregame routine when you're about to play a game?
Yeah, I'm not really superstitious or anything.
Yeah.
So I don't have any little quirks that a lot of guys have on the team. But my one thing is I generally scream in the tunnel. I don't know why I do it.
Yeah.
I never did it in Australian football or cricket or anything like that. But ever since I got here, I walk down the tunnel. We go out first, the specialists, because we have to get a few kicks in and stuff before we start. But yeah, I scream in the tunnel. I don't know why I do it. It sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but that's just I do it every time. So
I guess that's all the questions I have for you, bro. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and Thank you to all the viewers and fans watching out here, and see you guys for the next episode.